This is episode 55. Hello, or no, I'm wrong. This is episode 56. Hello and greetings, everyone. This is We Are One, You Are Two, a PlayStation podcast. I am your host, as always, Rob Fanzo, joined once again by the bodacious Matt Rhodes.
Hey, good thing you booked me for episode 55 and 56.
I know. Well, I double booked you. Yeah. So that's what happens. We're recording 2 episodes at once in the past and one in the future here. I knew what episode it was. I've looked at it all day and then I said the wrong thing.
It's okay.
So, story of my life. Yeah. Say the wrong thing at the wrong time.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
I guess just cry about it.
Yeah, pretty much.
When no one's around. Find myself a corner and weep.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Crying to my own lap, you know?
Yeah.
That's what I'm used to doing. All right. Man, you think I live a sad life, by the way. I talk about it sometimes, but I don't. How you doing?
Fantastic. How about you?
Fine. We haven't talked all week, which is unusual for us.
I know, yeah. It's been a minute.
I hate that phrase. It's been a minute.
It's been a minute.
Reminds me of teenagers. Like the ones I work with. They don't even use that anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know what they use to measure time anymore.
Well, that's why I say it, because young kids don't use it anymore. It's time for us oldies to use it.
That's right. Just like Facebook.
That's right.
All right. Well, we've got a great show lined up for everyone this week. Matt, it's been kind of a slow news week.
Yeah.
So we'll trickle through a few stories here. And then most of it's going to be topic-based. I think we got 2 different topics I want to talk about. The first one being games as a service. We might have had an audio engineer suggest that to us recently, and so we're going to tackle that.
Yes. Sweet.
And then the other thing I thought we would talk a little bit about perhaps today, and maybe it'll just move me more ranting, is gamer entitlement, which I think ties into games as service as well.
Yeah, I think so.
And so we'll talk about those 2 things, and then I do have a 2-minute review of a little indie game I started playing this week.
Ooh,
so
fun.
We'll hit that up as well, and you can talk about, the same thing you always talk about.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah, and so I guess... as is tradition, although we don't always have to follow tradition, we could talk a little bit about what we've been playing this week.
It's different a little bit for me, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've been playing Rocket League and Fortnite, so, that's new. I'm playing Trials Rising. I actually bought the full version after the open beta expired on Monday, because the game came out Tuesday. And it was, it is awesome. I probably already sunk like 10, maybe 15 hours into it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's how you know it's awesome, if you stick with it that long.
Yeah. Honestly, it's just so much fun. Like, it's fun and it's frustrating, but then it's like hilarious and like sadistic in some ways too. And it's just, I don't know. I love it. Because there's always like a crash thing. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You finish the course, and then there's always something at the finish line that, like, hits you or kills you, or blows you up or whatever. So, it's that sense of accomplishment, but then it's also
a little bit of humor for that accomplishment.
Exactly.
It's gotten really good reviews. It had like an 81 last time I checked on Metacritic, which for February, we talked about this last week with the February flops. Right. That's like a high.
Oh, yeah, exactly. and it's deservedly so. Some of those tracks are pretty awesome. Like, there's this one that's like based on a theme park. So you're kind of like, driving along like a roller coaster track, and, the roller coaster's kind of like zooming by in different parts. It's pretty awesome.
I might have to check that out.
Yeah, it's really great. After my 2-minute review last week, I was like, I think I do want to buy it. And so there's like a $20 version, which is the base game. I believe it's only $20.
It's $24.99 because I looked today.
Okay, $24.99 is the base game. But for $15 more, for $40, you can get like the expansion pass or whatever to go with it. And it's an extra 2 different like DLCs. So I just said screw it, and I went with the $40 version.
Yeah, I don't blame you. That's probably what I'll end up going with. coincidentally, and I'll just mention this, and one of the things I've been playing because of it,
Yeah.
it actually got me back into the original Trials
Yeah.
that they released on PS Plus last year, I think it was. It came out in 2015 or whatever it was.
Yeah, Fusion.
Yeah, Fusion. So it got me back into that, and I was like eating that thing up like you wouldn't believe, because it's just I didn't want to purchase the new one yet. I kind of felt like I owed it to the old one to play for a little bit, and so I jumped into that this week.
Yeah, I hear you. And then, obviously Fortnite, because this new season started today, so I've been playing a buttload of that this morning. Probably played 4 or 5 hours of that today already.
All right.
But the new season's amazing. Oh,
yeah, you really like those pirates, huh?
Yeah, there's pirates, there's cannons. You can put yourself into the cannon and shoot yourself like a cannonball.
Huh.
When you impact something, you explode. Well, I mean,
nice.
you don't die, but you give off an explosion and you cause damage. So you could technically hit someone with yourself, and it's I think it's 100 damage or something like that.
So you're telling me this thing has butt pirates and self-explosions?
Yep.
Well, that's what I thought. Okay. Sounds just like Fortnite.
I mean, they did a really good job. They put a couple of new POIs in there.
Okay.
And there's a huge volcano in there as well. So the upper portion of the map has changed a lot, which is awesome. I think it's really cool what they've done so far.
Well, as long as it gives a ringing endorsement from you, I think there's nothing for us to worry about.
Yeah. What have you been playing, Robert?
Well, it's funny you should ask, because I played some Apex Legends the other day. I did fire that up. I got fired up because I saw somebody on Twitter whose both his teammates died within a minute, and he lasted 25 minutes and took out 3 people and won the match. And I was like, what the heck? So,
and you still haven't gotten a win, have you?
No, I keep getting second, which is so infuriating.
I know, it's frustrating. I did get my first win of Fortnite of the new season already for Fortnite, which was nice to get that kind of monkey off the back, because you get the special glider or whatever for the season. But and I still have that Apex win over you, bud. Where are you at?
I know. Well, you also have much more time to game than I do, because I've also spent my time playing. I've really been hitting up Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Okay.
I am hunting down cultists. I've discovered locations. I did side quests. I'm even further in the story than I was before. And so I think I'm really close to finding another family member. I don't think that's spoilers, but.
Okay.
And then I also picked up, or have been playing a little bit more of Horizon Chase Turbo, which is like a 90s arcade racing game.
Okay.
I played and platinumed the game on my Vita the last 2 days by Retelica Games, I think, is the one that published it. They published a ton of other games. I forget what the name of it is. I don't have my Vita in front of me. Oh wait, you know what? I might actually. I'll have to look and see. So I've been playing that. And then my 2-minute review, and we'll talk about it. I really loved Rainbite's Reverie last year.
Okay.
It was one of my favorite games. Well, they also helped publish another game called Rime 9000 or Rim 9000. I think we read about it on the drop last week.
Mm-hmm.
It was the one with the trippy color scheme.
Yep.
Other than making my eyes bleed, it's a lot of fun. I can't play it for long sessions because it literally makes my eyes bleed. It's horrible. Yeah. Oh, okay. Daggerhood. That was the game I played in Platinum.
Nice.
It has over 100 levels, but I think you only really need to play the first 14 to really platinum it. So it's kind of a cheaper platinum. It's one of those games that's kind of nice. I like getting the platinum, and then I'll just continue playing it because it's fun. Okay. It's not one of those ones where I start it and I get 70% of the trophies, but then you have to finish all 100 levels. I can't stand that, to get the platinum. And I know that people love that grind, and I get it, and there's all different types of trophy hunters out there. But I like getting the platinum out of the way in a game like that, knowing that I'm not going in it for the cheap platinum. I won't stop playing it after I get it. But that I'll probably play up through 40 or 50 levels, and then I'll finally get tired of it. But then I don't feel like I lost anything if I quit, Right. That makes sense. And so I like that. Trials Fusion I love, and I'll play the crap out of that. But I know that the platinum's ridiculously hard. I'll tire out of it before I get the platinum. And that'll be irritating to me in a way. Yeah. As somebody who likes trophies.
I think I've only gotten a trophy, maybe 2.
Yeah, I looked at it, and I follow a lot of those trophy guide things, and somebody that ranks them, and I was looking like a game I played today probably would say be a 1 or a 2 out of 10, and I looked for trials just to see what the trophies, what they ranked, and they ranked it 10 out of 10.
Wow!
And they were it's going to take you 50+ hours to get the trophies.
That's insane.
And so if I'm going to spend 50 plus hours to a game, I'd rather play Assassin's Creed where it's story driven. And I also know that when I'm tired of it, I'll probably get the platinum before I get tired of it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. That's a whole other conversation for another day with trophies and ease and stuff like that. Maybe that's a future topic for us to talk about. But that's really what I've been playing this week. I also, and it's not necessarily what I've been playing, but I did get my Nier Automata Game of the Yorha edition.
Nice.
I didn't own it physically, and I'm really kicking myself for not buying the black box edition when it was on Square Enix's website, because that's sold out and that thing's over $1,000 on eBay if you can find it.
Wow.
But anyway, I'm kind of excited to crack this open and maybe finish the DLC, the Combat Arena. And this is the kind of game I might actually just play through it again. Even though I have the platinum, I might just play through it again because I just love it so much.
Yeah.
Probably my top 5 games of all time. Top 3, I'll say. All right. That's pretty much it for what I've been playing. So let's move on here. Let's not spend too much longer with that.
Sure.
So news week, I'm going to kind of skip around here a little bit. I had some stories put in, but then I realized I don't care about some of them. And so we'll kind of hold off on maybe the first one I have published there. The second one that kind of caught my eye this past week came out of Push Square, came out of the UK. Anthem was down to 35 pounds just 3 days after it launched.
Wow.
And so it went from, the normal 50 or 60 pounds, I guess you pay per game over there, down to 35 within 3 days.
That's a good game.
Yeah. Is that what that is?
I think that's what that means, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong.
I think the lower your game is in price after the sooner it comes out, probably the more copies, that means that you're willing, because they were giving away out Fallout 76 for free.
Yeah, so that's why we know. I mean, that's such an awesome game.
Yeah. And so, I mean, we jest, but we'll talk about Anthem and games of service in our chat today. But yeah, I thought that was very shocking. And I would have been very upset in the UK if I'd purchased it and saw 3 days later that it was down to 35.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'd be so pissed.
Okay, so there's that. And then, I don't know if you saw this too, but the game Outer Worlds, do you remember that from E3?
No, I do not.
Okay, well, I do. It was kind of interesting to me because it looked like a Fallout type game.
Okay.
And it was but it was sci-fi. And so it looked really good, like an open world sci-fi Fallout style game. Anyway, they accidentally this week published if I remember correctly, I'm looking at the news story now. By the way, it's Obsidian, the people who made Fallout New Vegas.
Right.
And so that's why it looks kind of like that in the critters of the original Fallout too. Anyway, it was accidentally uploaded to Steam page last week with a release date of August 6th. That's what it was, August 6th. And so they kind of took that down since then. But you can imagine that it's probably come to consoles at the same time. So might be getting an early August release date for Outer Worlds.
Nice.
Now this one, maybe you can tell me a little bit about this, because I also saw this in the news this week, and this ties into your stuff. Okay. Supposedly, Fortnite is considering a mechanic that is a revive mechanic for the Battle Royale game that they have. Epic is considering a revive mechanic. It was talked about this week. Have you heard anything about that?
I haven't. I mean, they already have a revive for squads and duos. So I don't know.
I think it's like the banner thing in Apex Legends, where in Apex, right, you go down.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
So I think it's that kind of revive.
Like a more of a respawn.
Yeah, like a respawn or a resurrection type thing.
Oh, okay. I think that would be interesting, but I feel like it would just be them pandering to the Apex crowd. I don't think it's necessary to do that per se, unless people are really calling for it. But I don't know that I've heard anything or read anything on Reddit or wherever about people wanting this.
Yeah, I don't know. And Epic's not shy about admitting that they take and they see what other games are doing and they see if it'll work for theirs. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get that. Because the news I just saw today was, and you and I talked about this a little bit through text, was that they had added in or evolved, I guess might be the better word, the ping system.
Yeah.
In Fortnite. So you can now ping certain things that you couldn't before.
Yeah, you can, it's more, like ping, like I guess pinging, I guess is the easiest way to put it. Like once you do it, it tells you exactly how many meters it is to that distance, in big lettering or big numbering rather. And then, if you like double click it, basically it just says that there's people over there.
Okay.
So I do kind of like that they've added that. That is nice. So that way, like, if I ever get you to play with me again, you know, and we're playing duos, like we can like spot people like we do in Respawn.
Yeah, in Apex.
Sorry, sorry. I was like reading the article as I'm talking. Yeah, in Apex rather. Sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. I knew what you meant. Yeah, so I thought that was interesting, and that was through Games Radar this week. And the other one that I saw that you may have seen multiple times is Bethesda released like a teaser on their website, I believe it was, and this is courtesy of Games Radar as well, where they actually were teasing a countdown timer. And people noticed that it looked eerily like Fallout 3's countdown timer.
Huh.
There have been rumors flying around the idea or the potential for a for a Fallout 3 remaster or re-release. And so the idea could be a 2019 release date.
Interesting.
That is interesting. And especially because over the weekend as well, last weekend, they also discovered a untitled Bethesda product releasing sometime this year for PC, PS4, and Xbox One with standard, deluxe, and collector's editions all priced at $59.99, and that was also taken down.
Oh.
And so there's an L that appears when the countdown reaches 3 in the bottom left corner, and so they figure it's probably Fallout 3. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. I think that's them shooting themselves in the foot or knowing that, you know, hey, well, because Fallout 76 clearly isn't doing well. And so I think they feel like they need a win with the Fallout series. And so this is their solution.
Well, yeah, sure. That makes sense.
In other smaller news, I don't know if you follow or pay any attention to Supermassive Games, but they trademarked, they're the people who made Until Dawn. They trademarked a game called House of Ashes.
Creepy.
Yeah. Well, they have something called the Dark Pictures Anthology series.
Okay.
And it's they have a game called The Man of Medan arriving later this year.
Cool.
And so they're wondering if this is like part of the series of those games, those like Until Dawn type games that they're releasing, because they did say they had several in the works.
Yeah.
So we'll see. So I thought that was kind of exciting because I loved Until Dawn. I thought it was great. Definitely an underrated game. Speaking of underrated games, Demon's Souls remaster rumors reignited this week because Kotaku's editor, Jason Schreier, was asked recently, think we'll ever get a Demon's Soul remaster? And he simply said, yes. Now, for those who don't know, that you're like, who gives two craps? Like, who's Jason Schreier? Like, why does this matter? Or even if you do know, right? One of the things that I love about Jason Schreier is he almost always, he's probably the most respected journalist, in my opinion, of major gaming websites because he always gets inside information. He never leaks it unless he is given permission, but he always knows what he's talking about. Like, he always is aware of what's going on. People talk to him, and he's probably the biggest newsbreaker in the industry. And so the simple fact he said that, I wouldn't say anything that means anything.
Right.
But he also probably wouldn't respond to something like that unless maybe he knows something. So who knows? Take it for what you will. I take it for a grain of salt, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Speaking of remasters, though, did you see Resident Evil 4's numbers this week? Capcom is killing it.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, they shuffled over 4 million copies into stores. And so they're, last I looked, they're approaching almost 5 million.
Wait, do you mean 4 or 2?
No. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I said 4 million copies, but I was talking about Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, okay. You said Resident Evil 4, so I was like, what?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking about the 4 million.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Resident Evil 2 has hit over 4 million units shipped. Actually, if it hits 5, that will be the lifetime sales of the first RE2.
Wow. That'd be crazy.
So it would actually pass, I think they're just under 5 million. So it would actually pass up the original Resident Evil 2. The remake would pass it.
Wow.
And so I know it's one I wanted to buy. I just have kind of held off because I know they've changed a lot of stuff up, but I've played it before and I've got newer games I need to play first.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right. And then the last story for today, and we'll move on, that I thought was very bizarre this week. I don't know if you follow anything about the Walking Dead drama that has been going on with Overkill, the studio.
Okay.
Earlier in the week, or maybe it was last week it might have been, Overkill's game, The Walking Dead, I think we talked about this last week, was not canceled. They said that, hey, it's still coming to consoles, because what happened was Sony was refunding money orders,
Right.
digital orders on its store. It was refunding customers and saying the game was canceled. And then they came out and they said, no, it's not canceled. We're just putting on hold. We're working on it because the PC port or PC game didn't turn out so well. We don't want to get panned again. We're working on it. We're fixing it. It's still coming to PlayStation and consoles. Then they announced this week that 505 actually said, or Skybound Entertainment, I'm sorry, has stepped up and said, no. Our contract with Starbreeze Studios is discontinued, and so is The Walking Dead. So the game is now canceled.
Wah, wah.
And so if you want to play, go to PC. It's never coming to consoles, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's a shame.
That's all right. I can do without.
Yeah. One other little piece. I mean, it's not a huge piece, but it's a piece of news.
Uh-oh, you brought some news with you.
The Johnny Cage reveal for Mortal Kombat 11.
Oh, so good.
Yeah. If you haven't seen it, please go check it out. YouTube it, whatever. I know IGN is doing a lot of the reveals for the character reveals for it. So they have videos up there on their site. But it's hilarious. It really is. It's gruesome, but it's funny. Just how Johnny Cage is in most of the series. Please check it out. I'm excited that he's in it. I mean, it would be weird if he wasn't, I guess.
Right.
But, I'm excited what they're doing with him.
You know what? I actually tweeted this out earlier this week, and several people agreed with me. So if you want to follow me on Twitter at WeAre1UR2, you can. But I tweeted out some pictures of the MK11 cast, and I asked people, I said, why is it that Johnny Cage is the only one who seems like he ever ages in the Mortal Kombat games? Like, you look at Sonya Blade, she still looks the same. She still looks like Sonya Blade. You look at Jade, she still looks the same. Scorpion, yeah. Sub-Zero. Johnny Cage, though, he's got gray hair. You know what I mean? He looks like an old man. I just want to know what's going on with Johnny Cage. Is he not, is he not seeing the same doctor as the rest of them?
I guess not.
I mean, what's going on there? I just want to know. I'm just worried about his health. I feel like the next one, at Mortal Kombat 12, he's going to have a cane.
Yes.
That looks like an action figure of him or something. I don't know.
Sweet, yeah.
Anyway, I just wanted to point that out. I just didn't understand it. All right. That'll wrap up the news, the PSN-news.
Oh, snap.
Let's go ahead and move into the topic of conversation, as we always do.
Mm-hmm.
And this was actually brought to our attention earlier this week by someone who has listened to almost every single episode.
Almost every single episode?
Yeah. I'd like to think he's listened to every single one. Our audio engineer decided to bring up an idea, and I thought it was a good point to make. He wanted to know about games as service. And he just wanted us to talk a little bit about games as service. And I think it's appropriate to talk about it because I also saw an interview with Amy Henning today, and she talked about how she doesn't think that a game like Uncharted would be made today that has an 8-hour campaign, strictly narrative driven, very linear, no multiplayer attached.
Yeah. And no microtransactions.
Yeah, and I think she was talking AAA development because there are plenty of indie games that are made like that.
Well, of course.
And she points out, like, if you look at Red Dead Redemption 2, it's a much longer narrative game. God of War is a much longer narrative game. So even if it doesn't have multiplayer attached or microtransactions, she was pointing out that, think about how long God of War takes, right? Or Assassin's Creed Odyssey takes to finish. Or I'll even go back a couple years to Prey. Prey took me like a good 40 hours to finish.
Yeah.
Right? You came close to finishing it, right? And you were in 30-some hour territory too, if I remember correctly. Yeah. And so Nier Automata took me 50 hours to finish. And so she was just pointing out that she doesn't think a game like Uncharted would be made today. And I think that ties in nicely with the games as service because I think that does speak a lot to where the industry is at the moment.
Right.
And the fact that even though a game like Anthem, I haven't seen any sales numbers. Have you?
No, I haven't.
So even if a game like Anthem tanks a little bit, right? It still has a massive audience and it still has a massive opportunity, I think, to continue to do well over time because Rainbow Six Siege was received lukewarmly. and it has rebounded. Even a fighting game like Street Fighter V was kind of lukewarmly received at first, and it has certainly rebounded. Fortnite, PUBG, Apex Legends. I could probably go on and on if I really wanted to. But all those games, Anthem, right? Division 2 coming out next month. Or this month, I'm sorry, because we're practically in March. All these games are coming out, but they're all really games as service. And so I was wondering, what do you think long term is going to happen with games like this? Is this going to be one of those things where every game, I don't think every game is going to evolve into a game as service, but I do think you could maybe read the tea leaves a little bit that this market is getting very quickly saturated, and it's going to have its core audiences, but I don't know how much. Do you think they take from each other? Do you think that they're going to, this kind of ties back to the Battle Royale conversation we had a couple weeks ago with Apex Legends and Fortnite. Do you think that they'll continue to attract new people? Or do you think that they're going to eventually move into where every game has to have this kind of feel to it?
I hope not. I really hope not. Because I feel like you were saying with Uncharted, like if that's the case, how are we going to get those games anymore?
Yeah, and I don't think we have to worry about them going away. I don't think we'll go. But I'm wondering, like, are we going to see like Spider-Man 2 be multiplayer and then have some sort of I don't want to say tacked on mode because I don't think that exists anymore. I don't think anything's ever tacked on anymore. But is there going to be some pressure for Insomniac to do something like that? Or are we going to just see another 40-hour Spider-Man game because, with DLC and like the suits and the, extra content like that? I guess I'm just thinking about games are no longer isolated and small packaged experiences on the AAA level. They're an experience, but they're also a service. You look at Assassin's Creed, even though it's single player, right? How many DLC packs do they have coming out? They constantly have those rotating missions that you play for like you have 24 hours to complete certain side quests and stuff. Is games as service going to be kind of the norm for every game going forward, I guess?
I guess I can understand why they would, because how much does it really take development wise or coding wise to reskin something like that? Is it a lot? Is it a little?
Well, I think the question is how much money does it bring in too?
Well, yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, between how much they think it'll potentially bring in and how much it actually costs to develop and implement into the game. Look at Fortnite. How many skins do they have?
Yeah,
and they've been out for how many years?
Right.
I'd have to look up how many skins they have.
Oh, it's probably in the hundreds.
And they're all like varying prices and.
Right. Yeah. And so do you think that they'll saturate the market to the point where there'll be too many games that are service-like and just not enough people? Because, like, obviously Anthem got a lukewarm reception, right? So that ties a lot into probably its sales numbers. But how much of it also is going to start tying into sales numbers where there's just not enough people to play these games? Because, like, let's be honest, you and I, we had fun with Anthem, but we were like, nah, it's not for us, right?
Right.
And we already have the games as services that we play. You are Fortnite, I'm Apex Legends, we're both Rocket League. I don't have enough time in my life to devote to every game as service like Rainbow Six and some of those other ones. And so are you going to eventually saturate the market with this?
Maybe, but if it ends up being like the case of Anthem or like a Rainbow Six or whatever, where games aren't that good when they come out, I think people will start to catch on.
But does that matter? Because Rainbow Six actually sales numbers increased over time.
Well, that's what I mean, though. Like, but you'll see like dismal launches. You'll see like launches that are terrible because people are like, "Oh, we'll wait for half a year. We'll wait for a year for them to develop more stuff for it. Wait for the price to go down, and then go into it." Maybe that's how it's not oversaturated because people will become wise to the game's not doing well to start. You know what I mean?
And so if they do become wise to them in that regard, do you think then that we'll see development time pushed back for some of these games?
I don't think so. If you look at Anthem, how long was it in development? 6 years?
Oh,
right?
I don't know. Is it that long?
Yeah, I believe it was like 6 years. I think I was watching a video about it. At some point, the producers, the company, the people who are investing money into these games are going to be like, just put it out there so we can make some kind of money off of it, and we'll keep working on it, or we'll keep doing this or keep doing that to it.
So you think they're going to start to play the long game?
I think so. I think that's going to be, it won't necessarily oversaturate the market, but it'll increase the longevity of the games, maybe, for the fact that they just want to put something out there, even if it's not exactly complete, and then kind of go from there, right? I mean, if you think about it, games before were always complete.
Yeah, long time.
Right?
Well, games for Nintendo still are complete. I will say that.
Okay, true. But most companies these days, whether it's DLC or otherwise, they're not exactly complete games, right? There's always something more to it that you can purchase or that, you can spend your money on. Like Mortal Kombat is, there's a $60 version, but then there's also a $100 version that includes their pass that'll get you all the characters when they keep releasing them.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say because with them being complete, when they used to be complete, people knew what they were getting, right?
Yeah.
And if it was bad, and people didn't play it or traded it in or whatever. But with them not being complete anymore, or them continuing to work on them, it's hard to say how they'll be received in the beginning and whether they'll take off later at a later date.
Well, do you think people are going to start to know what they're getting the moment they buy? So, like, I knew if I went and bought Anthem, I would get a game that had mediocre reviews because I could just tell from playing the beta what I was getting right from the beginning. The reason I didn't buy it is because I just wasn't impressed and I don't want to wait around. A year from now, are people going to be like, I know what I'm getting with Anthem, or I knew when I signed up that a year from now it was going to be great? You know what I mean? Are people willingly buying games now like that, knowing that that's what they're getting into? They're getting into the long game?
Maybe, but in my opinion, why would they? If it's going to be a long game where the game gets better or whatever,
why not wait?
Why not wait? Yeah, exactly.
Well, how about something like Apex Legends, where you and I daily fired up and we're like, good God, 400,000 kills already, right? And so Anthem, It's kind of like that. You get those people who are like, oh, I've been here since the beginning. I've built everything up.
Sure, and that's what's gonna keep the player base and people keep the thing going, right? I mean, that's gonna keep the servers on for sure in the beginning, because you will get those people that want to get in on the ground floor and level up as much as they can because that's the game they kind of like. You know what I mean? Like there's always going to be people that like that type of game, right?
Well, there's going to be those people who want to be in on the ground floor too, I think.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. Whether it's they like that type of game or whether they want to be on the ground floor because they can level up, and by the time the new stuff comes out, they can just come in and just like be so familiar with everything and just crush people. You're going to have that no matter what.
Do you think maybe Fortnite's a little bit different. I'm not sure, but a game like Anthem, are you going to want to jump into it, or the Division 2, are you going to want to jump into it a year from now, knowing that everyone's had that year head start?
I don't know, maybe. I mean, I feel like at least what I remember from Division 1 is they were pretty good about keeping the levels proper, right? Mm-hmm. Like even when you went into the PvP area, it kind of
separated you out.
Put you in the same level. Now, will that screw with matchmaking a year down the road? Because, there's not a lot of new people. There's just, high-end people. So maybe you are still with people that are, 10 levels above you because they're not going to make you wait 5-10 minutes for a match. Maybe.
Right.
But, I mean, as long as there's NPCs, you could still level up. Right? Yeah. Because that was the thing with the Divisions. There was PvP, but there was also things to like raid and pick out.
Yeah, and most of those games as service there are, right? Other than your battle royales, typically you have something that you can lean on to get you caught up, right? Even if it's purchasing your way through it. And so I don't know. It's just something that, weighing on me. I was kind of curious to see what you thought about.
Yeah. Well, what do you think about the oversaturation? Do you think that it'll get to a point where it's just oversaturated, the market's oversaturated, and there'll just be less and less people on each server?
Well, so here's the trick. Yeah, I think when I look at Rocket League, right? You and I know, I can tell you now that you and I, from us being pretty regular, that there is a regular number that exists, I think, there. Does that make sense?
Right.
But I definitely think that there is also, because there was a decline, I think, at some point, easily in the amount of people playing it, because there are just so many other games. And so I think what's going to happen is the same thing that always happens. You're going to find people who love those games and stick with them, for years, and then everybody else is going to move on, right? And so they're going to make their money for a certain amount of time, and then they're going to rely on the regulars. But as far as saturation, I think that what happens is, because a lot of games are being marketed as games as service, you can take and maybe spread out the amount of years between games, right? I think if the Division was what it was by itself, we would have had the Division 2 a lot sooner.
Yeah.
I think because of what it is not right now, that's why we have the Division 2 now, and we probably won't see the Division 3 for 4 years or so, right?
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
And so I don't know that you're thinning out the base as much as that you're creating almost like a weird brand loyalty, right? And I think, honestly, the only thing that drives a Division 2 or will be what will be an Anthem 2 or certainly a Division 3 or a Rainbow Six Siege 2 or whatever, however they're going to number that. I have no idea. I think the only thing that drives that stuff is new console generations.
Yeah, that makes sense. Better graphics, better hardware.
Right, more open worlds, etc. I don't need a Division 3 if no more consoles come out. I just constantly update Division 2, and I have people who play it and pay money and dive into it, and I have those people that I know consistently are going to be there playing that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look at what Rocket League did. Rocket League basically said, look, we're not interested in making Rocket League 2. We're interested in supporting this for years because we know that that's what it's going to come down to. It's going to come down to our regular gamers constantly playing this game that we've created here.
Yeah, and also it's like an esports game. So why would you want to come out with a new one and have to restart all that stuff?
Yeah, and so esports actually, it's funny because, games as service is one thing, but esports totally plays a different role, right?
Of course.
However, I will point out something like EVO, which is the fighting games. You still have stuff like Mortal Kombat released every year. Well, or not every year, but every couple years. I'm sorry. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of rotates between
that and Injustice.
Have been rotating between that and Injustice, but
right.
But yeah, every couple of years or so.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd be very curious to see where things are in a few years. If we quit getting new consoles, are we going to get to the point where, hey, you know what? Let's just add new maps or new graphics or new areas. Will the could the Division 3 be like the last Division where it's just a 10-year long? Because that was the original plan with Destiny. Destiny was supposed to be, we're going to stick with this game for 10 years. And, you won't have to buy another Destiny for 10 years. And then, 3 years later, 4 years later, we get Destiny 2. Right? But I think it's because there was new hardware. There was new opportunities to take advantage of stuff. You look at something like World of Warcraft as an MMO, and that's how these games or services are moving towards. They're moving towards that MMO-based feeling where it's one game over a period of time, right?
Yeah.
And you just add expansions or different, areas and things like that. It's kind of funny that it's taking consoles and other gaming companies this long to catch up to what is basically what Blizzard Entertainment has been doing for 15, 20 years or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's true.
So, we'll see. I just wanted to bring that up and kind of chew on that a little bit with you. I don't know if you have anything else you want to say about it.
No.
I think we've covered most of it. So,
yeah.
The other thing I thought I would bring up just briefly, and maybe we can talk about this a little bit here and carry it over to another week, is just kind of tying in with that, with games as service and tying in with games in general, is kind of gamer entitlement. And I guess maybe I just don't understand it. And so I've been seeing a lot of things lately on my Twitter feed about, the issues with Sony being quiet and Sony, not offering up PS Plus games for the Vita and the PS3 anymore. And, how they've abandoned their, consumer-friendly business model and how they're just ditching, Sony is ditching its fans, and it's the arrogant Sony of the early PS3 days. And how dare they not give us more than just 2 PS4 games this month because they were just announced the other day. What does Sony owe you is my question.
Not much.
Sony doesn't owe you squat. You don't like it. Go to Nintendo, go to Xbox. That's fine.
Yeah. It certainly doesn't owe you anything for free.
No, they don't. They give you 100 gigabytes of storage, right?
Yeah.
They give you 2 free games a month. They give you online capabilities, better infrastructure. PSN doesn't go down nearly the way it used to.
Yeah.
They give you incredible exclusives. They don't owe you anything. I think they will add PSVR games in eventually.
Mm-hmm.
They supported the Vita let's be honest, the Vita was dead circa 2014, if not earlier than that. It's 2019, and they're just now cutting off PS Vita games and they finally quit producing it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that little handheld has been supported for 8 years now.
Yeah.
For something that was dead 2 years after its launch, 3 years after its launch. Same thing with PS3. When's the last time you fired up your PS3, Matt?
What PS3?
Exactly. You know what mine is? Mine's the DVD player in the living room.
Oh yeah, I guess my roommate has one in the living room.
But when's the last time you gamed on it?
Oh, never.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's been, I don't even know how long it's been.
When it came out? What, 2007?
Yeah.
So it's been 12 years, and they've given you PS3 titles for free over the last 8, 9, 10 years.
Yeah.
So what? Like they owe you nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that frustrated me today. I was a little irritated by that over the past week, really. People griping and complaining. It's the same thing with Xbox. Xbox owes nobody anything. Nintendo owes nobody anything.
Yeah.
I don't see people complaining about Switch. I think it might just be Sony fans are very whiny.
I mean, maybe, but at the same time, do you think Sony has made them that way?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Is it kind of like a monkey see, monkey do kind of a thing?
Yeah, I mean, Sony has spoiled people, and I think that, I loved getting 2 free. You got 2 free games for Vita every month. You got 1 or 2 for PS3, and you got at least 1 or 2 you got between 5 and 7 games a month for free.
Yeah.
And now it's down to 2. So I understand where people are spoiled, but honestly, and the games this month don't appeal to me. I have The Witness already, and I don't necessarily need Modern Warfare remastered, but I still think that's a good lineup.
Yeah. I'm kind of mad about that because I bought The Witness like a month ago.
Oh.
So, of course,
within
a month. I mean, it's nice that I'm supporting the developer. I heard it's a really good game. And I don't think it was that expensive.
Yeah.
But still.
But anyway, I just wanted to point that out. And I don't really have a whole lot to say about it, I think, in that regard. I just wanted to point out that Sony owes us nothing. I think Sony's doing a great job. A lot of people think they're arrogant for several reasons or complaining about several things. But let's be honest. Sony has basically driven Microsoft into considering, I think, becoming a third-party publisher or like a third-party developer or something. They've basically driven them into this space where I don't think we'll see another Xbox generation. I think we'll just see Game Pass available on every system. And they'll go with that, being able to be like the Netflix of gaming.
Yeah.
And so that I could play any game I wanted that Xbox is willing to publish. They're basically becoming like almost like Netflix. That's the best way I can think to describe it, or a GameFly. And I wouldn't be surprised if they move that direction next generation. I might be wrong.
I mean, we'll find out within a couple months, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So I could see that. And let Sony handle the hardware. Sony loves hardware. That's what they do. They make cameras, they make TVs. Microsoft has always been a software guy.
Yeah.
And so let them do the Netflix thing. I'm fine with that. And then let Nintendo always is creative. So let them make hardware too. They got money to burn.
Yeah, exactly.
They got enough money they could flop for the next 20 years and they'd still come out ahead. I read that somewhere. I read somewhere that they have enough equity or cash stored away that Nintendo could fail for the next 15 years and still be profitable.
That's insane.
I'll have to find that article. But anyway, I hope that Sony at some point picks up with adding stuff to PS Plus, but I also don't feel like they needed to do it this month. I don't feel like you need to prove yourself right out of the gate. Let us go a month or two, see what they offer. And then if they want to, 2 months from now, or 3 months from now when E3's rolling around the bend, since they're not going to have a presence there, maybe they start saying, hey, big announcement. We will not be at E3 this year, but this month, and starting every month, now you can have PSVR titles as well. Or, 2 big games and an indie title for free. Maybe they start pulling an indie title. Maybe something from the drop this week could be the third game from for PS Plus.
Here's the thing. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but I swear that there's always been more than 2 games. Like every time I go to the free games, maybe it's like a Vita cross-buy.
It is. It's Vita cross-buy. It's a Vita cross-play. Okay. Sometimes it's a PS3, PS4 cross-buy because it's an indie title. And so just do that. You know? Grab one we read off the drop this week, put in Warfare Remastered, The Witness, because those are 2 bigger games. Right. To an extent, and then throw in one of these little ones. I'm sure that dev would love that, and it would probably get them more exposure than they would have gotten on their own.
Yeah, sure.
And so, all I'm asking is be patient, people. Sony will get to you. They will know you're whining. They will know you're complaining. Just suck it up.
But they won't do anything about it for a while.
Yeah.
If, history has shown us anything with the crossplay.
Just cool your shit. It'll be fine. All right. Let's move on.
Before we do the drop, I looked at the sales, at least in the UK, for Anthem.
Yeah.
Only 10% of Destiny's first week sales. Now, this doesn't include digital, but that means only 40,000 Anthem copies were sold in the UK.
And yet, you know what the crazy part is? It ranks #1, I think, on the charts.
Yep.
So,
yeah, it does.
Yep. So go figure.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that sums that up. Out of the talk and into my favorite part.
Ooh, see you soon.
Let's talk about some of the games that are coming out this week, because I'll tell you what, I peeked today and there are some gems, my friend.
Oh man.
There are gems that you didn't even know were gems.
I'm peeking now. This is intense.
So let's go ahead and go through some of these and knock this out of the park.
It's a lot of them too. Holy crap. All right. You want to start?
I'll let you start because I'm a little parched.
All right, fine. All right, we got 8-Bit Invaders! ! PS4 digital retail. 8-Bit Invaders is a colorful sci-fi RTS that's easy to learn and play. Control the military might of the Galactic Marine Corps or invade with the savage power of the Cranioids. Collect resources, build your base, amass an army, and crush your opponents.
Very nice. I'm going to put you on the spot for a second. Do you know what an RTS is? Because it took me a second and I was like, oh, duh, of course.
No.
Okay, I was just wondering.
Something tactical shooter?
Real-time strategy.
Oh, real-time strategy.
Right? So it's like, it's one of those, if I may be so bold to say that. All right. The Arc Slinger out PSVR digital out the 1st of March. Get your trigger finger ready for the fast-shooting world of Arc Slinger. Entrusted with the mythical gun Angel Heart, you must take down the villainous Gold Smoke and his dastardly gang. Do you have what it takes to become the Arc Slinger? Now, this next one, I just want you to know there's a demo on the store, and I've already played it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome P. PS4, PS Vita, digital.
That's with an EA, by the way.
Yeah, PEA. P. Awesome P. Out tomorrow. 3-1. Awesome P is a classic run and jump platformer where you must help the greedy P in his insatiable quest for gold, dangerous dungeons, deceptively beautiful nature, hidden deadly traps, and many, many coins await you. Many, many coins. Is there a lot of coins, bro?
There's a lot of coins, and also that gross green, that's the entire color of your screen. It looks like somebody vomited pea soup all over your screen.
Nice.
And so it's very much like Jack and Jill DX or like Dumpster Bear.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So try it out. It has 3 levels for free.
Sweet.
Blast Zone Tournament. Blast Zone Tournament is the fast-paced game where fun meets explosive combat. Take on challenges in a fully loaded single-player campaign and prepare to compete in numerous multiplayer arenas. Blast your way to the top of the leaderboards. That looks like Bomberman to me.
Right? Yeah. All right. Crash Dummy, PS4 digital out 3-1. Crash Dummy is a challenging 2D platform game. Blast, burn, and freeze your way through each level. Jump long distances and do some stylish ninja action wall runs in this story-driven adventure with a unique set of endearing characters.
Goodness, it sounded like you're having a little bit of a stroke there.
I know. That sentence was a lot longer than I expected it to be.
That was some rough writing there.
Right? Stylish ninja action wall runs. Okay.
Creepy Road out PS4 digital out 3-1. The world has gone mad. Hordes of enemies lie between Flint Trucker and his beloved Angelina. Only his courage and a shotgun will help him reach home and save his one true love. Gotta get him, Flint.
I love the cover art for that.
Yeah.
It looks creepy.
Now, this next one I also played the demo for, and I can confirm that I did very much enjoy it.
All right. Dead or Alive 6, PS4 digital retail out 3-1. The long-awaited new installment of the Team Ninja's top-class fighting game series. With the addition of brand new stages and characters, Dead or Alive 6 embodies and illustrates the evolution of true fighting entertainment. Extra boob jiggling.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Well, I mean, that's what they're known for.
I know it's what they're known for. I've never really played the Dead or Alive series, and so I thought, I'll try this one out. And I was like, goodness, there's a lot of that. But
yeah,
dude, I played online ranked matches, and I had a lot of fun. So
sweet.
That's one of those ones that I'm tempted to probably get, even though I don't normally play that kind of thing.
Yeah, I heard like one of the things they introduced is like with the new stages is like there's like stage traps, like kind of like Injustice or whatever.
Oh, okay, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah,
I probably didn't activate any of them, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
All right, Death Coming. Death Coming is a non-linear puzzle game where you must harvest human souls, Final Destination style. However, pesky mortals are not your only problem, as the agents of light will do everything they can to stop you. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right. Deponia Doomsday. Deponia Doomsday. PS4 digital out 2/27. That was yesterday. Can you change Deponia's fate? Do you have what it takes to change Rufus's past, present, and future without accidentally destroying the whole planet? Fight time itself in this action-packed platypus task. What? Am I? Okay, I'm reading that right? Platypus-tastic and insanely hilarious story.
Yeah, I gave you all the hard ones today.
Platypus-tastic? That's I read that correctly, right?
You did.
All right.
I don't see any platypi on the
yeah, there's no platypus on the cover.
That platypi, they are all missing. All right.
Platypuses?
I think it's platypi. I don't know.
Right.
I'm going to say it that way because it sounds
Maybe
great.
it's like deer. It's just platypus.
Make platypus great again. Dirt Rally 2.0. Dirt Rally 2.0 dares you to carve your way through a selection of iconic rally locations from across the globe in the most powerful off-road vehicles ever made, knowing that the smallest mistake could end your stage. Let me just say, this is a perfect example of one of those games that I wish I was into. Like, we could talk about that one week. Games that we don't play that we wish we were actually into because we would enjoy them, but we just don't. That's one of them.
Yeah, for sure. Doom and Destiny. PS4 digital out 3-1. 4 nerds drawn into a fantasy world and mistaken for heroes have to battle their way through a massive, crazy adventure and defeat a preposterous villain. Journey through an unpredictable story filled with parodies and cameos. This is Doom and Destiny, the flying spaghetti fantasy adventure.
Are they saying this is Doom and Destiny like... Oh, never mind. Doom and Destiny. I don't know what I was thinking there.
The flying spaghetti fantasy adventure. Come on, Rob.
Goodness.
How do you not know this already?
Now, this next one I looked up a trailer for, and it kind of looks like, what's that other game called? Fall of Light, I think it's called. It reminds me it actually reminds me a little bit of the one we interviewed with Arthur a few weeks ago, as well, the Sword Legacy Omen. But it's not turn-based, it's action combat. And so, but it has like that feel to it. Thimble combines intense Viking battles with a deep story that unfolds through in-game comics to bring the frozen world of the Norse sagas to life. Man, they really love the Norse stuff lately. Immerse yourself in the blistering winter preceding Ragnarok, the Thimble Winter. Like, if you were a Norse mythology nerd, over the past 3 months, we've had a lot of games.
Oh, 100%. Honor and Duty D-Day. PSVR digital. Honor and Duty D-Day That's a lot of D's. Takes place during the D-Day landing in World War II. Play TDM of domination in 32-player matches. Drive tanks, jeeps, and trucks in large open maps as you search for the enemy.
Ooh, that one's on sale, I think, already. Like,
Wow.
As like a release week sale, you know, like you get it at a discounted price. Alrighty. The Lego Movie 2 video game. This is right up your alley.
Yep.
Bricksburg is in ruins, and Emmett's friends have been taken. Team up with Emmett and a host of heroic heroes to save their friends from strange inhabitants of the Sistar system. Journey into outer space, discover new worlds, and test your master building skills. And what I think is funny about that, actually, is you used to hear a lot about the Lego games. I feel like you never hear anything anymore.
Maybe they've run out of franchises. I think the last one was, Incredibles, maybe?
Yeah, I think you are incredibly correct.
This coincides with the movie release, obviously.
Yeah.
As they always do. The movie comes out, and then, a month later, a Lego movie comes out. Or a Lego video game comes out. All right. I don't know if I've heard of this one before. Nier Automata?
Yeah, something like
Game of the Yorha edition. Nier Automata.
Nier
Game
Automata.
of the Yorha edition. Automata. Okay. Automata.
Yeah, you haven't heard of it before, I can tell.
I don't know how to pronounce it. Anyways, PS4 digital retail. Nier Automata, Game of the Yorha edition, includes DLC and bonus content for the full experience of the award-winning post-apocalyptic action RPG. To defend against a surprise invasion from another world, a new breed of android infantry is sent into the fray. The Yorha Squad.
Yep.
Sweet.
Everyone should own or play that game at least. And play it all the way. Don't play like that, like Matt does halfway through.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, don't do that. You're better than that. All of you are better than that. So, but you should own that game or play.
It's not that it was bad.
No, it's fantastic.
Other things came out, so
it's fantastic. And I seriously, there's something wrong with you if you don't enjoy it. I'm just going to let you know right now. I'm very biased. All right, Pick a Pix Classic, PS4, PS Vita, digital cross-buy. Who said the Vita is dead? The popular picture crossword series goes back to basics. Pick a Pix is a picture logic game, sometimes known as Pickcross, Nanogram, or Hanji, where whimsical music... No, there's no music. Where whimsical pixel art pictures are created by solving puzzles.
Nice. Remilore. Remilore is a roguelite anime-style adventure set in a colorful fantasy world. Features single-player story mode, two-player co-op mode, 200-plus weapons, upgradable spells, procedurally generated levels, loads of unlockables, and more. In case that list wasn't enough, and more.
And more. All right, cool. I might check that out. I like roguelites.
Yeah.
And that's not what I expected it to be. I thought it was going to be like a visual novel. Remilore, here I come. All right. Stellaris Console Edition. Paradox Development Studios bringing the grand strategy genre to consoles for the first time ever with Stellaris Console Edition. Featuring the same deep strategic gameplay, rich and diverse alien races, and emergent storytelling, Stellaris Console Edition puts the complexity of the galaxy at your thumbsticks.
Nice.
Nice. I like it.
Uh-oh. VR required.
Whoa.
Summer Funland, PSVR digital out 3-1. Get ready for the awesome VR experience that is Summer Funland. A crazy roller coaster, hilarious minigame, and incredibly fast-paced motorcycle ride through Gotham, underwater voyage, and space trip. There's never a dull moment in Summer Funland.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
ooh, can't wait for this one.
Yeah, we're getting near the end here, and I can't wait for this one either. It's out, and I'm definitely like excited. This brings me back to my childhood. And I would love to have these guys on the podcast. Toe Jam and Earl back in the groove. The iconic 90s duo is back in the groove with all new presents to help them navigate this whack planet Earth and retrieve all the lost pieces to the Ratmaster rocket. Team up for co-play to discover secret locations, hidden presents, and new friends. Everyone who listens to this podcast, all 10 of you, tweet at Toe Jam and Earl and tell them to come on.
Yes, please. Oh, so good.
Mm-hmm.
I heard it's... I don't remember. I guess I don't remember because it's been so long, but you take elevators to the next level and you can fall off the map downward.
Ooh.
And so you're literally raising up each level you go through, and you can like fall sometimes, and sometimes you fall like 5 levels, so you got to replay all those levels.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I don't remember that from the original game, but I'm pretty sure that's how it was.
I don't even remember that either.
Yeah. Alrighty, we talked about it earlier because I've been playing it for a couple days now. Trials Rising, PS4 digital retail. Explore over-the-top action and physics-bending motorcycle racing in Trials Rising, the latest addition in the Trials franchise. All new features, more competitions, and more tracks mean new challenges.
Oh, yeah.
That does not do it justice.
No, it doesn't. Not at all. Because it's just so good.
Yeah, it really is.
All right. Almost there. Vertigo Home. PSVR. Vertigo Home is an endless runner set in a 90s space western universe. Fly through and above a tunnel that you steer with your head to avoid collisions with bizarre and dangerous obstacles. This is VR. The doors of perception are open.
Oh my gosh. That is the best title. Oh my gosh. Vertigo Home. Good times. All right. The Walking Vegetables Radical Edition.
I like that
PS4
one.
digital. The world is under attack from vegetables turned evil by dastardly aliens. Answer the call and take up arms to defend the planet. Buy weapons, develop your skills, and roam from city to city to take out waves of evil veggie monsters. That looks pretty cool.
Last but not least, War Tile, PS4 digital. Experience the living, breathing tabletop video game that invites the player into a miniature universe full of small adventures. It is set in beautifully handcrafted diorama battle boards, inspired by, you guessed it, Norse mythology to honor the Vikings.
I like how you added, you guessed it.
Yeah, because you know what? I told you earlier. We can't get away from the Vikings.
Yeah, you're right. Going back to the platypus question.
Yeah.
It is all of them. The plurals of platypus are platypuses, platypus, and platypi.
What?
All 3 of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Color me surprised.
It says platypi is more colloquial, but
Okay.
yeah, all 3.
Oh, you learn something new every day
Right? About platypus.
about platypuses. Cool. All right. Well, anything else you want to add?
Is that it?
Well, that's it for those.
Yeah, see you soon.
Yeah, see you soon. So I thought what we could just briefly mention or talk about, I guess, would be my 2-minute review for the week.
Do it.
And so I'm just going to hit up something called RIM or Rhyme 9000. I apologize that I don't know if it's RIM or Rhyme. I haven't heard it out loud. I'm going to assume Rhyme. It is like a old school arcade, space shooter, I guess. And it is published by Rainbite, which you might recognize from Reverie game, the game last year, Reverie, that they put out that was fantastic. But it's they call it a hyperkinetic shooter, inspired by Akira, Neon Genesis, Evangelon, and Gux. And so you're a journey hunter traveling to the moon, and it is not for the faint of heart. It's not faint for the... Sonochi was the publisher and the developer. Well, I saw Rainbite in the credits, so I don't know where that ties in. But anyway, it is not for the faint of heart. Please wear sunglasses. Please do it in a well-lit room. Please do not have the risk that you might have an epileptic attack, because it is colors and things. I had to turn down the settings. It was so blinding to me, I turned down the settings. Like, you can adjust them so it's not as crazy.
Yeah.
I had to turn it down because I couldn't even tell what was going on the screen. It was so blinding. It is only 5 stages. It's difficult as nails, but it is very old school. And so if that's your kind of thing, go pick it up. I really enjoyed it, and you can find it on Steam, itch.io. You can find it on, pretty much
PlayStation
anywhere.
Store?
PS4.
Yeah.
But it's definitely worth it.
Sweet.
And that's
All
my
right.
2-minute review. Go check it out.
Yeah,
Go do it.
Finished just under 2 minutes. Sweet.
All right. That does wrap it up now.
Yeah, that's it. Fort Pitt.
Yeah, Fort Pitt. I'm going to go put together my coffee table in the living room.
Sweet. I think I'm going to make some dinner.
All right. Sounds good. All right, kids. Until next week, game on.
Game on. This is the outro music. It's really loud. It's really close to the mic.
I felt like I was playing rhyme for a second with my ears.